New Playboi Carti snippets for probably Baby Boy, and also news about Opium being done accepting any new members to its roster. It's a pretty interesting time right now. Today we have to talk about Playboi Carti and Baby Boy again, like we always do, so let's jump straight into this. If you want to stay up to date with everything surrounding hip-hop, make sure to subscribe and also become a part of this community by joining our Discord server in the description. You can now sign up for my free newsletter with the first link in the description. It comes every Sunday and recaps everything that's been happening in hip-hop over the past week, so make sure to do that. So we haven't talked about Carti in some time. Obviously, it's not a lot happening right now with his tour with The Weeknd running until at least September 3rd if there aren't any dates getting added, which can actually happen. We are not expecting any new music to drop until after that date, so after September 3rd. We are obviously still waiting for Baby Boy, that new record. We are getting hints here and there that something new might be coming, but it's obviously never concrete enough for us to actually expect a record to drop any Friday now, even though a lot of people are assuming and are hoping that on some of these Fridays in July, August, Carti would actually drop, which would be cool because we are getting so many great hip-hop releases as of late that a Carti drop would honestly be very nice. But anyway, we have to talk about the news on this. Now, most recently, Carti was obviously featured on Jack Boys 2 on Where Was You? And while I did express mixed feelings about Jack Boys 2, also about Where Was You, honestly, to me, it kind of left behind or went a little lower than my expectations when I went into this. Even though we obviously didn't have any because it was a surprise feature on there, he was still prominently featured on there, which is obviously good for Carti fans, so he's active. We did also get a new snippet with Lil Baby called Ratchet that I do want to play you right here.
I'm intense like a pest. All play on the press. 4 takes, they are classes. 6 money, I'm a 6. Being broke, I can't imagine. Just in case you got, hey, I was about to be a drop top. And I'm bitch so hot, yeah. I'm bitch so hot, thoughts. Ain't worry about the cops. It's just show turf for every drop, yeah. Shots in the mobs, yeah. Shot down school, huh. My spotters on what's up, since high school, huh. I ain't never did a push-up, but I'm fully with that tool. I swear, we know how I move, hey. She like the bitch shit, hold up. Let's do it. She like the bitch shit, hold up. Let's do it. She like the bitch shit, hold up. Let's do it. She like the bitch shit, hold up. Let's do it.
Let me know what you think about this. Honestly, it sounds better than I expected when I saw Playboi Carti Lil Baby feature, because sometimes that can also not be very good, but it was better than I expected, so I was actually pretty happy with this. Now, we don't know if this is going to be on Baby Boy, but at least it's something that we got most recently that is also not from like a group buy or from some lost era, but it's very recent. We do have a lot of snippets that come to the surface through group buys, but in this case, it's actually real. Now, we also had a really interesting interview with Ken Carson concerning Opium, the label. Now, at Clout, the festival, he was asked about Opium, and this was his reply.
I feel like Opium is already like raps. Like, it's not gonna be no, I don't know, I don't want to kill nobody's dreams, but yeah. I don't think nobody gonna be Opium, but I feel like it's other opportunities for like these young motherfuckers, even still like you got YBL, that's new, so it's like motherfuckers could be YBL. I don't know about Opium though. I think we already, like I said, it was a family, and we're gonna keep it family oriented.
Now, he's saying that they want to keep this family-like. They want to keep this closer, close circle, not accepting any more artists on the roster other than Carti, Ken Carson, Homicide Gang, Destroy Lonely. And that's cool. I mean, that's the OG Opium crew we all love and we all care for, but we never knew if that was final. Now, if you remember, we actually did get a new label from Carti called YVL, which was also under which Apollo Red released his latest album, Midnight Blastic. We talked about this back in early May, and we also then talked about there were a lot of different voices on the internet talking about like a B-tier Opium, talking about a new roster that Carti is building up of people that he doesn't want to let into the elite kind of like Ivy League Opium label, and that's kind of the lower grade of that. It's obviously very interesting. Let's see how all of this is going to turn out. Let's see how all this develops. But Ken now also confirming this seems to be the confirmation that a lot of us, were anticipating in early May when talking about that Apollo Red release, which was not too bad. But obviously we thought, why isn't somebody like him on Opium? Now we know why, because they really want to keep that close. They don't want to let any more people in and rather have them on YVL. Talking about music, Carti's latest album, obviously from March. Fun fact, it just went platinum within like 4 months at this point. It sold over 1 million units. That is a pretty big accomplishment. It's obviously not like the fastest album to go platinum. There's been faster albums to do that, but it's still pretty nice to have a release that came out this year, reach that milestone within, like 4 months. That's actually pretty cool and just a testament to how much people actually like the record. So let me know if you're still streaming music. I've read a lot of your comments that you've had it on repeat ever since it dropped. Let me know how you're still bumping music. Also, we had some notifications that the YVL hats started shipping. This was already a couple of days ago, but it's still something I wanted to put in here because we talked about the restock. We talked about what this meant for the record. Maybe this is merch for the new label as well. YVL, that's the name of the label. So at least they started shipping. People didn't get them yet. A lot of people are calling for another restock. If you did get one of them, please let me know. I would be very interested in how that whole process went about. But at least we're getting them, or the people that ordered them, I did not. So I'm happy for you if you ordered one. So as I said, we can likely not expect Baby Boy dropping before September 3rd because he's on tour with The Weeknd until then. And as I said, tours sometimes get extended, and I could see this happening in this case as well. But it is pretty interesting news that we get new snippets by the week. We have obviously group buys, as I said, but the snippets are the actually interesting part. And also, we have Ken confirming that this whole theory we've had about Opium being, done, or Opium, that sounds negative, Opium being a closed book at this point, nobody else being allowed in, and they're rather now pulling artists, new artists that they see potential in, into that other YVL label. Now, obviously, the two of them are connected, probably both of them run by Carti, but it's still interesting. And also, music went platinum. That's pretty big. Let me know all your thoughts on everything we talked about today, when you expect Baby Boy to drop, and who you might think will end up next on the YVL, second grade label. Let me know all your thoughts on this in the comments down below. If you watched this video to the end and liked it, and you want to stay up to date with all current hip-hop events and releases, make sure to subscribe, turn on notifications, hit that like button, and go follow my social media, and most importantly, join my Discord in the description. Until the next one, you'll have an incredible day, and y'all take care.